everybody, good morning. This is Jean here, Jean Truelove from True Love Quilts for You. I think this is on, wait a second, I thought it was on backwards. It's a funky neckline. It's a funky neckline. I think, no, it's not on backwards. I thought it was on backwards. Look, I just pulled this out of my closet. Anyway, good morning, how are you all? This is going to be part 3 of my quilt show highlights. Hope you're not getting fed up with it, but we took a lot of video footage and commentary from both Ian and Maxwell. That was my last video, part 2. Hope you're enjoying this, of the Pennsylvania National Quilt Extravaganza show in Pennsylvania here over the weekend. I'm filming this on September the 15th, no, 16th. My first video, my part 1, I do have a playlist that I'm going to be compiling these videos, reviews of the quilt show. My first video was my observation of the quilt show. I don't mean to beat a dead horse. It's just, it wasn't as busy as last year. There weren't as many vendors, and it was interesting. But before I get to my blurb, before I get to my videos, which I will do, thank you for listening, there were so many lovely comments, dozens and dozens of comments actually, and the general consensus is across, as I was saying, perhaps across the industry, across the world, the quilting, not the community, but perhaps the industry has taken on a different tone for traditional quilters. There was a comment in Australia, our industry is a whole heap smaller than yours, but our major shows have less vendors too. That's from Kelly. I'm reading the comments here. The quilt show, this is from Tina, the quilt show in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee was a lot smaller than usual. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. You're hoping I'm feeling better. I'm on the mend from my long COVID. That was another thing. Maybe the crowds were less because of COVID. There has been an uptick in COVID cases in the last 2 years. One of them, have gotten COVID 4 times and have been suffering from long COVID, so perhaps the crowds weren't there because of that. Very, very interesting. Ian said yes. So many people were saying perhaps people have retired, and I wanted to apologize if I've offended anybody, in that, like, the whole industry has changed, circumstances change, and that's when, you know, even quilt stores that go out of business, you can't necessarily assume that it's for a bad reason. People perhaps of illness, or perhaps of retirement, or because of rent going up. There's all different scenarios and all different reasons why people, and in this instance the quilt show, was not quite the same as it was maybe pre-COVID. Nothing was the same since before COVID, right? The judging, a lot of people like the quilt that Ian had showcased. I don't think it was called a color wheel quilt, but we're calling it that because the colors were just so spectacular. That should have gotten a ribbon. Quite a few of them should have gotten ribbons. And Ian was very, I'm like, Ian, you can't say that. He's like, what do the judges look for? The judges obviously look for what they're looking for. But us, like normal people, were like, that deserves a ribbon. Oh, that should have gotten a ribbon. So many, let me see, thank you for your videos. I was well enough to go to the quilt show. I wasn't concerned because there weren't a lot of people there, so I felt quite safe. This was an interesting, back in the day, Grumpy Poo, we were taught to sew, knit, woodwork, metalwork, cooking, etc. Weren't we all? Us over 50 or 60. Now kids are taught rarely the basics of anything. So how can they find the joy of making or creating beautiful things? All they want to do is tippy-tappy technology and be entertained rather than making our own entertainment. I think that's the general consensus across the board. You know, shut the kid up and give him an iPad. Unheard of in our day. It was like, shut up and go outside and play till dinner time and then come back, hopefully with no broken bones. That's how I was raised. I didn't turn out too bad. Interesting. Your opinions about the lack of vendors, people, and stunning quilts were thought-provoking. This is from the Hawkeye Quilter. As well as others had that impression. I hope I wasn't stepping on anybody's toes saying these things. It was just our observation. Oh, this is funny. Wonder, is there any chance of Maxwell making a quilt, a hot rod quilt? In my last video, of Ian and Maxwell only. It was their baby. I gave him the camera and I put the video together. Maxwell, who's really a good sport, he'll be 25 years old. Maxwell is autistic, but his observations, he's like, on the Friday, it was like, I don't want to go Saturday. And I'm like, Maxwell, I gave birth to you, you're going to go. He's like, oh, okay. But he was funny. And then the last video I put up, the first, you'll see it. The first quilt that he saw was actually a kit from a vendor. He's like, oh, I like this quilt. I'm like, Maxwell, there's 500 other professional quilts. Why didn't you video them? But he got around to it. Oh, here's Denise Jolly. We're having the same problems here in Australia. At least 2 quilt shows that seem to be only half, if that, of the usual vendor, but definitely lots of machines. A lot of vendors don't like to travel as much anymore. They're getting older. And the packing, unpacking, packing, and finally unpacking when they get home is daunting. The cost is fairly prohibitive. I know one person said it cost her approximately $5,000 to have a stall, accommodation, and travel, but she only made $500 on each of those 3 days. So it was a loss for her. Yeah. Yeah, Desley Bartlett said, Denise, I also live in Australia and have traveled south to attend the quilt shows and have found the number of vendors have decreased and they're selling more machines. We saw tons of machines. We used to have a quilt show in Cairns, but that has stopped as they can't afford to travel so far. It's a shame as new quilters will not get the advantage of hands-on tutorials like they did at shows years ago. Anyway, if you're interested, tons and tons of lovely comments on the perhaps the pros and the cons of the quilt show. We thoroughly enjoyed it. We went the whole 2 days, Ian and Maxwell and Jen, and we had friends and family. And just one little story I want to get to before I do show the pictures and the small videos in this part 3. I hope you don't mind because I think I might have a part 4. We did showcase quite a lot of lovely quilts. We met a lovely lady, Lisa. Lisa, you know who you are. And it was so funny. In the beginning of on Friday, Ian and I, was it Friday? Yes, Friday, Ian and I were complimenting and commenting on a Hoffman Challenge quilt. And again, I will put that up in this video to come. The whole back wall was Hoffman Challenge. Hoffman Challenge, as you know, there's a certain amount of fabrics that you have to use in your quilt, and then you can flesh it out with others. Well, the one that we saw several of them that I'm going to highlight in a video, but the one was called like a beach bums. There's 3 lovely ladies, the back side of them at the seaside, and we were complimenting this quilt. Well, interesting enough, later in the show, we got a tap on the shoulder, and this lovely lady, Lisa, had said, oh, she was a follower, and she, subscribed to my channel, and she enjoyed it, come to say hello. And she had a quilt in the show, the bra quilt, and we went to see this quilt. Lisa is a breast cancer survivor, and has had a bit of a time of it, but has come out at the end. And she had poured all of her heart and soul into this quilt that I will put up in the form of a bra. It's like a 3-dimensional quilt, just beautiful. And sayings of what cancer can't do, and Lisa was a shining example of that. And it was funny because we're standing before her quilt, not a huge quilt, but this wall hanging, and she was telling us all about her quilt and how she made it and everything, and the inserts inside, and she pulled out the inserts on this lovely bra, and the white gloved helper said, oh, excuse me, you can't touch the quilts. And oh, okay, so Lisa stepped back. The woman wasn't understanding, and finally, I think I have it on video, Lisa said, oh, I made that quilt. And the dear lady's like, oh, sorry. But I understand. Like, even if you say you made your quilt, somebody could say that. So I understand the white gloves, you know, do not touch the quilts. But Lisa, she was so lovely. So we had a really nice chat. But it was interesting because Lisa said, oh, I have 2 quilts in the show. And she said the one is on the back wall. It was a Hoffman challenge of the 3 ladies on the beach. And Ian and I are like, we actually stopped at that and did a video of how we were laughing of there's delightful quilts. So Lisa did have the 2 quilts in the show, and they were just wonderful. We really enjoyed that. So Lisa, congratulations on your recovery and your progress, and all the best health to you. Again, thank you for your comments, everybody who are enjoying my videos and enjoying Maxwell. I will be showing my friend Tara and her family who came, and also Jen, maybe in this video. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, or in the next video, part 4, if there is one. So please stay tuned to my video, me showcasing the beautiful quilts. Really, really lovely, and we did have a nice time, although it was tiring. It was tiring. The 2 days was tiring, and we didn't stay all that long, but we met some lovely people, and I stayed safe, and I'm taking it steady and easy. Thank you all for your concern and for your love. I hope you enjoy the video. All right, folks. Bye-bye. So these quilts along here are this year's Hoffman Challenge. All right? And what the Hoffman Challenge is these are the fabrics that the people had to use, which are the sort of the undersea colors, the blues and the greens. And this entire back wall here are filled with quilts and garments made in the Hoffman Challenge. Lovely. Again, Hoffman Challenge, all of the different fabrics, and then you're allowed to use
your
other fabrics and your imagination.
Look at the imagination in there. Wow.
Oh, it's super. Look
when
at her.
We believed in mermaids. Well, I've got my mermaid.
Oh, Ian, shush.
Let me give you a cuddle.
Ian. From mermaids, to lovely Borgello, to a horror movie. Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh, wow.
And then we come along here. A lot of people participated in the Hoffman Challenge this year. Under the sea. But a lovely cat. Look at that with the thread painting. Look at that thread painting. Oh, they're delightful. Oh, this is sweet, Ian.
Look at the little handbag.
Yeah, isn't that sweet?
Love it. That is so imaginative.
Smooth sailing rope bag.
Construction. What has she done?
She's made little
fabric
cords, ropes, and then wrapped them, and then sewed them all around into a little handbag.
Smooth sailing rope bag. Wow. Well done, Eileen.
Eileen Jonette, Wake Forest, North Carolina. That is a sweet. Again, Hoffman Challenge. So pretty. From mermaids to mermen. Pretty. Oh, that's interesting. Another outfit. Beautiful.
There she
oh,
is.
I'm
She's on the
celebrating
beach.
Hoffman fabrics.
Is that one of Jean? Are you in the middle? Or on the edge?
Oh, yes. Oh. Thank you. That's interesting how they incorporated that. We're celebrating Hoffman, 100 years of Hoffman fabrics. Look at that. Yeah, that's me.
And look, next door, it says lover.
Is that you, Ian?
And you're giving me a blue kiss, I think.
No, it's lovely.
Wow, very,
Yeah,
very
that
pretty.
entire way down there in the expo center for the Hoffman Challenge.
stuff like that. So, and you need this? No, I made it. Oh, you made it.
That's why she's.
Oh, I know the boobs are attached. All right, well, if you made it.
Yeah, she made it.
I guess you're allowed to touch it. Nobody else is allowed to touch it.
Oh, Lisa, it's wonderful.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were the male
It's
owner.
wonderful. Oh, it's so lovely, Lisa. Really wonderful.
Well, it's really, you got me.
It's beautiful.
It's amazing. It's amazing quilt. I really like
So
it.
Lisa is here. She just introduced herself to us. She watches it. What Cancer Cannot Do is a cancer survivor and has made this lovely quilt about what cancer cannot do. Isn't it wonderful? Cancer cannot erode confidence, stifle laughter, shatter hope, conquer the spirit, silence courage, invade the soul, and steal humor. And I am a survivor. Ah, this is dear Lisa's work of art.
I love like all
Absolutely wonderful. And this is Lisa. So lovely.
what you did.
Oh, it's brilliant. So these fabrics here are from the Mystery Quilt Shop Hop, okay? 200 participants visited 8 stores to create fat quarters and create these mystery quilts. Now the pattern is the exact same pattern, but I just want to do a sweeping overview. This is well, you can tell it's the exact same pattern, but look at the delightful fabric choices that people made. Completely different look, feeling, and actual size, it looks like, from one quilt pattern. Now that person actually didn't quilt inside. Can you see that? So it's almost dimensional. The quilt block right here. They quilted the background very, very densely. So all of these are the exact same patterns. this, a second place wall quilt. Oh, Betty Jo Tatum.
This is certainly more like it. I agree with the judging, with the taste of those that awarded this, the Mancuso Show Management National Quilt Extravaganza Wall Quilt, second place in the competition. Definitely, this is superb. Look at the fine quilting that's there. The intricate, amazing stitch quality. Oh, astounding. Can I have it? I want it.
Look, Ian.
Have we got any walls left at home?
We have no walls.
Where we could put it?
Oh, this
is worth
is beautiful.
such a lot of money.
Oh, look, Ian.
Someone who would appreciate it.
The
Pay
workmanship.
A lot of money for this. It's
And that.
just phenomenal. Is this silk? That fabric? This one here?
It must be.
Is this silk?
It must be. It's shining like
Don't
it.
touch.
No, don't touch, Ian.
Please do not touch.
Machine piece, machine applique, machine quilted, original design. Wow.
Some flowers were derived from photographs from my yard. A Dover colouring book inspired the birds.
Ah.
Matching the 8 hoopings to join properly when machine embroidering was particularly challenging.
Ah, so this is machine embroidered. These flowers. Look at the little pearls. Oh, it's just beautiful. The detail.
Wonderful, just superb.
That is glorious. Well, the first day, I said we're only going to spend an hour or so. Several hours later, we have met quite a few people who said hello to us. Oh, it was so nice. Lisa, Patty, Sue, Joanne, Anita. Forgive me if I'm forgetting some. I'll put these up. You'll see their pictures, some lovely stories. Maxwell did a video. We'll be showing that, and I'm going to come back tomorrow, Saturday the 14th, with Jen. So whenever you see this video, oh, I'm tired though, but I did well. I did well. I did have to sit down, and now we're leaving. There was a whole nother room that I didn't get to go in. Maxwell did, but I'll be going in there with Jen tomorrow. So, yeah. Quilt show, day 1, down. Wonderful.